Alright, hello, this is Monster Hunter Ultimate 3. And last time I had finished a bear off, but I didn't have enough stuff to make the armor, so I finished up some of the grinding. And presuming my math is correct, I should be able to finish up the whole set before doing the next urgent quest. We'll see though. So the Baroth helm we'll make here and attach. Yeah, we will wear it. Now we need gloves as well. So we're gonna make those. Great. I think we need the waist and legs too, but I'm just gonna double check so I don't make extra stuff. Yeah. Yep, we do need those things. Alright, so waist. We can make it. All good signs. I may have hunted too many. Oh well, money. Not exactly a problem in Monster Hunter to have too much stuff. Alright. Sweet. Alright, so that gives us a full set of Baroth, which at this point in the game is pretty good defense. You know, the looks are... It really depends on you. It kind of evokes a knight, but it can also be a little bit too bulky or deserty, like with the amber coloring. I go back and forth. I like it in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Some of the other games, like, I generally like big shoulders, but these are very flat, so it's kind of like having like rooks from chess on your shoulder. And at times that's just, it's too overbearing on the armor. So, is what it is. We'll stock up here on everything. Do I have stuff from having hunted recently? Nope. Perfect. You know what? Before we go for the Goble as well, I was doing some gardening in the game, and actually just combo. That'll let me make some potions. So I think after Goble, we should be able to just buy them, but until then, I will combine blue mushrooms and herbs to make some potions. Generally, I try to use herbs whenever possible, potions in between that, and then treat all of the stuff that you get for free from the mission at kind of a premium, because it tends to be slightly better than most of the generic healing items that you can bring. Okay. Oh, you know what? If I use this 1-star bread, I'll get a little bit more health, so might as well do that. Awesome. Alright, so now we're gonna go hunt a Goble. You can see its image is lovely. We're hunting it because... Okay, it just kind of hurt somebody popped out of the fog, so... That's a reasonable thing. That's, you know, you can't have a pest like that attacking merchants or what have you. Now, Goble, I think it has a deserved bad reputation because it's like the first largely entirely underwater fight that you experience in this game. It does go above water. It loses a lot of effectiveness when it does, but it's not really gonna start there, and it's probably not gonna end there. So it's good to build up your expectations for underwater combat going into this one. And I think when underwater combat came out, it was just so kind of new to everyone that they didn't know how to deal with it. And as a result, the first time you really have to rely on it, it can feel a little bit like your butt is getting buckled. So we'll see if I can find Goble. This is the first time we're encountering him, so no doubt it's going to be a cutscene. I'm thinking he's going to be underwater in 5 or 6. No, you don't really want to be... Ooh, that could be him. Goebel also does this, like... It'll, like, camouflage in the environment. And you can kind of tell because there'll be, like, a mound or some bubbles. That was just normal bubbles, because, again, cutscene. So not 5. Ooh. Can't deny the opportunity to mine. And that's one of the bigger differences between this game and the other games. While you do have a farm in this game, it isn't nearly as upgradable as it would have been in Freedom or Freedom 2, Unite's, Third Portable, whatever. You can't do as much. There aren't like the levels of mines that you can upgrade to continually get the materials, so you kind of had to make sure to get it when you're in the area on other quests. Okay, so that is Goebel. And this is its kind of passive form. It has 2. And very much like the puffer fish that is kind of inspired by... I don't know where the heck it went. Good sign, right? It'll inflate when it's hurts. Since I can't see it, I'm just going to carelessly mine while this, like, somebody's getting murdered in the shower music plays. Yeah, maybe he left. Did he go to 8? I don't see a Goebel in here. Maybe he just did the camouflage thing. I was too distracted. Moments like that, though, where you pop up over the water and you're in like a cave of neon fluorescent light. Very cool moment in this game. Like, you can tell the engine was getting quite dramatically improved just to even allow for that moment, right? Yeah, I hear the sounds of something bad happening. Oh, hey, there it is. So, yeah, that was the Goebel trap. It laid there and tried to attack you. I was hoping it would be possible to upgrade my sword prior to this fight, but the reality is Isium comes from the Tundra, which I think we might unlock next, but definitely not there yet. Hey. It's funny because I remember when I first started playing Third Ultimates and Try as well originally, the game felt, it definitely felt tough. And I was one of those folks that played so much of normal Monster Hunter that when the time came around that I had to be underwater and deal with like this Z-axis during combat, it became definitely cumbersome. But I ended up playing so much of Try and more this game just because the Wii U version was the way to go, controller-wise anyways, and performance-wise. But yeah, I just put so much time into it that now returning to it, it feels just like normal Monster Hunter. It's just like, yeah, of course there's underwater parts. Like I still actually hope that it returns. I think it's a fun medium. It's a fun way to design monsters, and like you can only have so many. It flies up and shoots fireballs down at your monsters, right? Like I like a good fireball monster just as much as anyone else. I'll definitely hunt a fair number of Wrath Blows in this playthrough, like I have in pretty much all the others. but it still doesn't mean that I wouldn't appreciate like things like Legiacrus or Gobel coming back into Wilds. Especially just because it's a unique way to view the game. If you've even just watched Monster Hunter before, you've probably seen the person running around in the great sword and the jumping off platforms, maybe. In the modern games, you know, like mounting and riding the monsters, kind of. Or I guess literally in some story styles, but you wouldn't see underwater stuff. You don't even swim for the most part in the game. You can't jump into water. If you do, you kind of just run through it and it's up to your ankles and you're largely unimpeded. Which, you know, the right scene, like in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, there's all the kind of Eastern Japanese inspired levels where you have all of the like trees overlapping and the big waterfalls, and you can fight different things there. And you know, it looks really cool. I think it's the map is on this game too. And you go there and it fits. That being said, like this map is in 3rd Portable as well, and there are areas here that are underwater in this game and were not underwater in 3rd Portable. You just kind of ran over top of them inexplicably. And, you know, one more area to have a standalone fight, and that's nice. But the areas, comparatively, they feel boring, because they just kind of feel like corners of the map, where the same sort of thing that was happening other places happens here as well. Compared to right now, it's like we have all of the seaweed, we have these different monsters that are using the habitat, underwater mining areas that you have to swim up to and kind of identify through the bubbles and fish and seaweed and twigs, and it's just that extra bit of captivating. The Gobel is presumably... Oh, I didn't paintball the Gobel because I'm dumb. But we'll just attack this inexplicable amount of bubbles, and there you go. And now we're back in the fight. I probably should have sharpened my sword, but yeah, what can you do? I thought I was looking away. I wasn't. Now do we see what happens when you get caught in the vacuum? Not a whole lot, but you don't want it to happen. I think right now I have a status that drains my stamina a little bit faster than normal. It's not perfect, but it's not the end of the world either. All right. Oh, paralyzed is not great. That being said, I don't actually know, like, this thing is clearly based on a little bit of an anglerfish and a pufferfish combined, right? Now, do either of those have paralytic agents in them? I don't know offhand. I think it could be. Maybe the pufferfish is like a slight paralysis in the needles? I don't think anglerfishes are paralytic. I just think they have big jaws that they use to like swallow things that they bring in, right? Like I don't think they paralyze anything, but maybe they do. Maybe I'm forgetting a core part of what an anglerfish is. It would be cool if we actually had elemental monsters. I think, you know, eventually that discussion point just becomes like, wouldn't it be cool if Pokemon were real? Which, like, I guess has been discussed to death. But you think of things like the electric eel, and I'm not 100% confident, but I don't think does it actually produce electricity? I remember hearing once that it doesn't actually produce electricity. It just like has spasms all throughout its body and musculature that's so aggressive it feels like you're being shot. But maybe that's nonsense, right? Like, there's some magic in the world, I'm sure. Maybe it's electric eels. Okay. Definitely gonna sharpen, because this piece of crap sword doesn't really get very sharp, but it'll do. It'll do. It's one of the ways of balancing greatsword right now, because standalone, it's so incredibly powerful just to have the sword, and if you use it right, to use it with like a fair amount of mobility, that if you had right off the gate, if you had green sharpness and you didn't have bounces and you could like hit any part of the monster and you have a guaranteed hit, like even I admit it would be probably too easy. All right, you know what I'm thinking too, I don't think I've ever made Gobel armor. If this thing has good electricity defense, I may need to when it comes to Legiacrus, because Legiacrus uses water and electricity, and since you largely fight it underwater, you can only imagine that there's a degree of damage multiplier happening there. So even if I think like it does have an ability where it shocks everything around it, but because it is internally immune to electricity, it doesn't matter that it's like sending out through the water, but it'll kill all the fish around it if it uses the ability. So it's very much like it has a toaster in a bathtub effect, despite the gruesome nature of that. It really is effectively what it does. Car battery in a lake, whatever you want to call it. It's has a fun move set. Oh yeah, I forgot I had to breathe. I might as well take a gulp of fresh air. But that in itself is kind of a showcase of how the water combat isn't really all that inconvenient. Because I would concede, if you needed to pop up or find a bubble stream to get air every 30 seconds or something like that, it would be a huge inconvenience. But as is, I forgot I had lungs. And when I looked, I still had 3/4 of my oxygen left. So to spend that much time underwater and still be in perfectly good fighting condition speaks to the ridiculous level of fitness that the characters in Monster Hunter have. But also, like, the developers weren't trying to destroy your fun. They just wanted to give another place to have it. Okay. Oh, okay, so the Gobel's going above the water. The screen really does look different when that happens. It's fascinating. And it's actually kind of funny. Going underwater, the controls are really smooth for the camera. And because you need to be able to look everywhere, you can. There's no like fixed positions like there is in a lot of other Monster Hunter classic titles. And indeed this one. So when you're underwater, you can have your camera at any angle, whatever you want, and it's perfectly fine. When you get out of the water, you are back to very fixed, like driving a car in third-person perspectives, which independently is fine, but it's a little bit jarring going back and forth. It's like, if you could have done that, why didn't you? Why wait until, like, Monster Hunter World to implement that option? If it was clearly available now, right? That's all I'm saying. Oh, okay, I got nommed, but it's okay. Probably shouldn't fight in this little hall. I mean, clearly the Gobel's thinking the same thing, so. Yeah, this thing definitely has more health than a lot of the things we've fought so far, so it's a reasonable option for an urgent quest right now. Oh, okay. Well, that being said, it looks like it's definitely hurt, so it has fleed over to Area 8. Not actually all that far. We just gotta run around, cross this region, and then jump off a cliff, which is far less dramatic than it may sound. Okay, might as well use that ration. And then we go up here. Hmm. Now, if it's resting or sleeping underwater, I kind of want to mine. I hope that doesn't wake it up. And the earth crystals are great. We're gonna need those to upgrade the sword once I can get Isium ore, which is, it should be available as soon as we can get to the tundra, which I think will be post this urgent. I think we unlock a new area and that's what it is. Am I blind? Oh, it's probably just disguised, but hey, there it is. It was disguised. All right, so is it wounded? What's the deal? Because I was kind of hoping it was close to death. This has gone on 5, 10, 15 minutes, and the DPS has been relatively solid. So I kind of feel like it's reasonable to hope that it is going to pass away soon. Gold is one of those ones you don't really have to feel too bad about either. Like sometimes, you know, you're hunting something, especially in the early portions of the game before the monsters get too aggressive. And you're kind of just like, am I the bad guy here? I'm just kind of hurting this bird that keeps on calling for its friends to help it, you know? Like, it doesn't seem all that malicious to me. But then you fight Goebel, and you're like, oh yeah, this thing eats kids. Like, 110%. No doubts about it. It would, like, if you got a family pet, don't let it near Goebel. Can't be trusted. I wouldn't let my dog near this thing. That's all I'm saying. All right. And then some of the other monsters, like, they're really pretty, but they kind of do really aggressive things. Like, Diablos are incredibly territorial, so anyone that lives near or around the deserts where they've made their homes are at risk. Merchants, travelers, adventurers, just gonna kind of go through the region Diablos may attack. I think Rathlos and Raytheon are similar, and they very much like to prey on the pack animals that people use to travel between towns. Because it's important to remember the level of technology in Monster Hunter, even though it seems incredibly high at times, sometimes too. As far as we know, they don't have things like trains or mass transport. We see big airships, there's relatively large boats, but there isn't anything that's super fast. There isn't like a train. And that means there's a lot of foot traffic. There's people that use some of the monsters that exist as pack animals. But because those pack animals are the regular diet of a lot of the big monsters that fly in the sky, almost all of your quests at a point in Monster Hunter involve, hey, we keep on getting killed whenever we use this road, and you hunt the thing that's doing that. Ranthos is one of them. So even though objectively it's a really cool looking monster, you're like, ah, it's also a dick, so we'll hunt him. There's other ones that I feel a little bit, I don't know, not like 100% at peace with, but it's the way she goes, so you gotta do what you gotta do. How Lumo in the World and Rise, I mean, that's just a big cotton ball. You know, I feel like there's some way to talk with it, but there clearly isn't. And they go in the lore, I'm pretty sure, and it's like the thing is monstrous to kind of balance out the fact that it looks kind of cute. It's like it'll pummel people to death and leave them unrecognizable. So it's like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty gruesome. But even then, it's like if, you know, a terrorist was also a kindergarten student, you'd be like, ah, I know this is for the greater good, but also, like, ick. You know? It's an uncomfortable situation. So oh well. How many about games are very willing to showcase that type of thing in sincerity? I'm thinking like Metal Gear Solid is probably one of the only titles that ever touches on that really in war. Like Call of Duty, it's fine to want to play soldiers and stuff. Like that's as old as humanity, so that's fine. But it never is like, hey, a lot of these countries that we're going to use child soldiers. Like it very infrequently comes up. Maybe one mission where it's like if you hurt the people, the quest ends. Either way, objective complete for the goal. And again, morally clear, no concerns, big-mouthed, evil-looking thing. Pressure, problem solved. I don't 100% remember what's next. I think we unlocked the tundra, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a volcano. I think it'd be the tundra though, because, well, the Izium is popping up in the options for upgrades, and it wouldn't put me somewhere or ask me to skip an area. It's usually not how the weapon trees work. They're very sequential when it comes to how you're upgrading and accessing stuff. Oh well. Wasn't terribly bad for a greatsword without green sharpness. Alright, fair amount of hides, monster bone plus. And a fair chunk of money, so it's like hard to complain about that. Yes, I will save my progress. Alright. Hey, I have a request for you. I think you're gonna like this one. Tell me, what would you like more than anything? Don't answer. I know you want to increase your shroom box's capacity. Okay, so this is an upgrade for the mushrooms. If I so desire them. I should probably get through and do some of these. I have a bad habit of just letting them build up and then doing it all at once. Hello, Hunter. You hunt well. We trade well, yes? You're just in time. Another carrier pigeon arrived, saying another land wants to trade with you for Moga commodities. Ah, the Wyverian Hub. So that's, yeah, what's the secret? Okay, so he likes to go to his home country, so if we send him there, he's more likely to bring back good stuff, which is great. But at this point in time, not super useful. So we can kind of let him bypass that. He can just visit the Wyverian Hub. Whatever. I'm just gonna cancel this. It doesn't matter. I don't need him to do anything specific right now, so I'll just let him do what he wants to do. Ah, the orders are in. It's unprecedented honey boom. Okay, so I would like to improve the honey box. What is it going to take to do? Ah, busy bees. I have to look up where to get those. Okay, this guy wants a favor to get some new fish for the cook. Totally valid. That's all the requests right now. Hey, do you have new stock? Okay, great. You've got some new items. Are some of them potions? They are. Perfect. Oh, right. So that's puts me in a good position for future fights. Now I don't have to make my own potions. I can just buy them, and I'm making so much money that it's not really a concern. It seems the village's future is looking much brighter. Yes? Oh god, the cat's talk in such a way that's hard to read, especially when it's trying to be both a cat and a French cat. Effective. I am able to stock more magnifique ingredients than ever. Oh, I'm now offering higher level grain ingredients to my best customers. Great. So now we can increase our health more. I'm gonna go put some stuff away from carving though. Okay, yeah. Maybe more than carving, I have potion stuff to put away too, and armor spheres. Okay, great. Oh, you know, I should talk to this guy, because he has stuff. Iron ore and whiskers. Actually, that's all very good stuff for him to have, so I'm not upset by that one bit. Alright, so he now has better quality bread. We can get health plus 30, which is pretty awesome. Alright. Hello there. Nice work on that gobble hunt. It's trickier than your average water dweller. I figured a funky monster like that would give you a hard time. How do I know Gobble are trickier than your average water dweller? Well, geez, everybody in the guild knows that. Their skin changes color and they hide deep down, and can paralyze you. I could have mentioned that earlier, huh? Well, hindsight is 2020. Let's just focus on the future, shall we? My heartfelt letter of recommendation got through to the guild. You've been okay to move to a new region. A land so cold, even time is frozen. The tundra. Wondering what sort of place it is other than really dangerous. According to my crystal ball. Reply hazy. Try again. That's close enough to look. To good. Close enough to good. That's a weird sentence. So, whatever, yeah, you can tell sometimes the Monster Hunter is translated out of Japanese, or maybe it's just like trying to be quirky, but whatever. So whatever quest you do, good luck will follow. I could be wrong, but I could be right. Trust me or flip a zenny. Same difference. Alright, so what do we got? We got the Great Baroth and the Great Jaggy. Lagombi. Great Baggy. Slay 20 Great Baggy. Okay, so none too bad. Let's do the harvest tour really quick. I'm kind of wasting the food on this, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I'm just gonna go poke around and hunt really quick. Or hunt a mine. See if I can get the Izizium that I want before I go and hunt any of the new monsters. Kind of speed it up, because I think in my next upgrade I finally get green sharpness, and I miss it. Alright, so we'll grab our map, and I think the circuit for mining is like 5, 6, 7, 4. Let's see. Oh. Oh yeah, look at that, 2 mining points behind me. So Izizium, that's really what we want. Earth crystals are great, but Izizium is the main item of attention. Hey, there we go. Wow, this mining point is that was really lasting a while. I'm not used to that. In all the other games, it kind of feels like they go away in 2 hits, but maybe that is a counterbalance to the fact that we don't have the farm to consistently mine at. So it's kind of like, hey bro, sorry about that. Maybe you want to mine here instead and get like 6 hits. Okay. Not terribly useful. I don't think anything spawns up here, but I'm not confident enough to ignore it, so I'll briefly climb up this wall. And no, looks like my suspicion was correct. Nada. Cool, so we'll poke into 7. It might actually be possible 2 has like a big mining point, like big crack in the wall. Either way, I'll look in a moment. Okay, we have a gem one here. It looks like one of those giant pieces of amethyst that you see in like a mineral store or spiritual health store or whatever. And you want one, then you go to look how much they cost, and they're like $1,400. You don't want it that bad, so you just think it's cool. Sometimes that's how it goes. I think there's a lot of purchases that if you don't grow up rich, you just don't ever think are going to be worth it. Even if you would get to a point where you could afford them, you would kind of just be like, ah, it's so senseless. Like, there's some things that even me, I'd be like, ah, you don't need to do that every time, you know? And maybe sometimes it's just nice to have the slightly lower quality thing as a reminder of why it's nice to get the good stuff. Hey, another piece of Izuzium. That's all we're looking for here. Hey, look at that. I might even get it all I need, but I don't know if I'm that lucky. Okay, Bloodstone is at maximum. So right over here. No, okay, so that's I think how they handled mining points in portable 3rd for this map, but 3 ultimate, no cracks in the wall, all spots, all gems, all ice rocks, whatever we want. Cool. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna run over here. And hope it all works out. How many pieces did I get? Let me just look. 4. That's what I thought. I think I need 5. And we'll see. I've watched some icebergs before, and I do not think they go this fast. At least not the ones that I was watching, but it's kind of different circumstance. This is more of a river with obviously incredible depth and great flow. Or maybe they're just broken chunks of ice flowing inland. I don't know. So that's the tundra. Did we get everything we need to upgrade the sword? Upgrade sword. No. Oh god. I need more palagasite ore and more Izium. Well, that's not terribly fun. I'll put this all away. I didn't realize I needed the more palagasite ore as well. A little bit boring to go get, so maybe I'll just do some small hunts in between now. We'll get good health again, because the cost really isn't all that much. What does this cost, right? Yeah, $50, that's nothing. Cool, alright, and we have everything. I might... Yeah, get the iron pickaxes back, buy whole sets, and okay. Now, we'll work up, so we'll hunt the 20 baggy in the tundra. Also give us another opportunity to mine for some more Izium while we're here. Awesome. Whoa. Cool. So these are baggy. I don't know why they're called that. Just what they are. I don't, I have no idea when it comes to the etymology of a lot of the names for Monster Hunter creatures, because obviously, like, they are created in Japanese first, and then they're translated over. But whenever I look at the Wikipedia for the game, or when I was playing the Japanese version of it, if you look at the Japanese version of the monster name, it would have, you know, the characters, whatever its name is, not that I can read that. And then it would have in brackets, red flying fire wyvern, or something like that. And from what I understand about the Japanese as it's created, you have a lot of room for how the words are used and strung together and what they may mean in conjunction. So it's kind of like, when they translated to English, they just kind of had to make up names for what they wanted to call them in English. Because, like, for example, I think Rathlos in Japanese is closer to like Lialus or something like that. It doesn't have the Rathalos, the hard R's that we use when we're talking about that monster. But if that's the case, why was Rathlos ever called Rathlos, right? Like, why wasn't it just Lialus or whatever it was? It may sound odd, but it's only because we're not used to it. So if you were used to it, it would just be what the monster's called. Is there, like, a degree of consideration beyond that? Is it modified to sound like something else and kind of evoke a certain feeling? I don't know. I've never looked into it. I've looked into a lot of things for Monster Hunter, but the lore kind of becomes, like, intentionally hard to understand. And then there's a lot of resources, a lot of games. You play through a lot of periods in time throughout Monster Hunter. You're always kind of like in the same sphere of technology, but you travel across the world, you go to new worlds, and that's a big part of repeating lore. There's also, if you look into it, evidence that there's a faction inside the guild themselves that is maybe some sort of God, what's the best word to describe it? Kind of like activists, I guess you could call them, in that they remove information that's known about monsters, especially rare ones. And it could be that one of the reasons that they would do that is to try and preserve or prevent the hunting of these rare species. Now, obviously, there could be some political divide in the game about that, because in Monster Hunter, the big things that they would be hiding information about or losing information about from the guild would probably be elder dragons. And elder dragons are, you know, they're like rare, and they're arguably very beautiful entities, but they also, in nature, they kind of evoke huge disasters. So some elder dragons just being in the sky will cause thunderstorms and tornadoes and cyclones. Others will cause other monsters to go mad and attack when they wouldn't, and push boundaries when they wouldn't, and otherwise, you know, avoid peaceful lives. There's a myriad of effects that elder dragons can evoke. Most of them not ideal. So it's definitely something where you have to deal with them when they pop up. But they so rarely pop up, and it could be that this group inside the guild wants to protect them, that they're constantly either fabricating information, hiding information, or otherwise masquerading the truth. And it's just interesting because it's never a plot point, but there's item descriptions, there's things that you can learn by reading into NPC dialogue, and it's just like, why why is that even a thing? Why is that being mentioned right now? It's interesting. Like, there's There's an entire group in the guild, and you can get the armor for them, which is how we know this. But there's an entire group in the monster hunting guild, and their purpose is to hunt other people. They aren't intended to hunt monsters, although I'm sure they could. They are an internal faction that focuses on poachers, monster hunters who are using their abilities to hurt the guild. And, you know, there's indication that sometimes people who have the skills as a monster hunter will change what they're doing and become assassins, or in some cases bandits, and act with ulterior motives. But due to the fact that they have the strength and skills to fight monsters, when they fight people, they just absolutely devastate them. So these guild hunters are trained to the level of a monster hunter, but only to focus on those, you know, bad actors, I guess you could call them. But there's never a point in the game where, like, you can upset them. You're never going to hunt too many things and then some dude with a long top hat pops out and, you know, needs to cut your throat. It just doesn't happen. But it's there. It's in a lot of the games too. These messages and indications about the lore beyond the obvious. And it paints an interesting picture. It actually kind of makes me wish there was like an expanded RPG that took place in the Monster Hunter universe, but itself wasn't a Monster Hunter game. Like, Stories did something cool, but Stories is kind of like a monster collecting game just as much, and it's rock, paper, scissors in combat, but you don't get to do a lot of life sim stuff, even if I think the exploration is really cool. But it'd be interesting to just be like, you know, a normal person in the world, or maybe be a farmer, and you have to deal with the monsters that potentially come to your village, and the politics of getting help from the guild, possibly. You know, as I talk about it, I realize this would be interesting to like 15 people, and then everybody else would be like, this is the dumbest game that's ever been made. Why am I doing taxes when there's giant dragons to fight? What is happening right now? Like, no one would like that except for me, but that's okay too. Sometimes it's good to have dreams just for yourself. All right, what did we get? Some cool stuff, bones and the like. Nothing wrong with that. Bones are fun. All right. I'll put some stuff away. I think there's time for like one more hunt. So that works out. Cool. All right. Buy some stuff, or no, we're good. All right, great. We'll eat super quick. Great. Cool, and then what's good field quest? Well, I guess I do need some Pelgasite. Is there something a rank below that takes place there? No, I can go get some Pelgasite ore, I'm sure, in between. Yeah, I mean, this is a gathering quest. It's not a horrible thing to do. Well, we can go hunt a great baggy. So this is the grown-up version of the things we just hunted 20 of. It's a raptor type monster, and that kind of means it's at the bottom of the pack when it comes to danger. I like the design of a lot of the raptor type monsters. Even going back to Velocipray, Velocidrome in the original game. But still, they all fight relatively the same. You know, they have similar moves, they have hip check, They spray various things at you depending on what they have going on. And then when it comes to diversity, the raptor type monster, huge diversity of attacks, spray wise anyways. There we go, Gridbaggy. So, like I was just mentioning, they have the ability to spray, the ability to sleep on you. Well, you know, it's the only way to phrase that. They have a sleep liquid. It doesn't seem like a powder. And that is what it is. You know, it's a detriment. It's not, oh. That cold thing worked the first time. Oh well. My armor is so good that it doesn't really matter. That's fun. The hits are like nothing. I've never really made Baroth armor before. This may be the first full set I've ever put together. It's serving me relatively well for this. Like the Great Gobu was easy peasy. Well, it took a little bit of time, but I didn't die, and that's really all you need from your armor. I think sometimes folks get too focused on the meta of Monster Hunter, and maybe we all get too focused on the meta of things, right? Like you look at what the top 5% of any given random whatever are doing, and it's kind of impressive. But I think that's just the way humans are. You know, impressive things are impressive. You know, if you're ever watch like a talent show, there's always one or two acts where they come out and originally you're like, oh, this is gonna be stupid, and then maybe it would be stupid, right? Like at any level lower than the level they're doing it would be stupid. But they come out and then they're like juggling 16 plates on the tip of their nose, and you're like, that's so silly, but okay, cool, this is impressive to watch. It engages you. That's the truth for anything, Monster Hunter playing included. There are folks who are, you know, using a combination of meta tactics and very specific attacks to fight things in a matter of seconds sometimes. And while that's fine, I don't think anyone should be like, I'm not having fun because I'm not doing exactly that when I play. You know, if it takes you a little bit longer, you have to use some different items, you have to create your own strategy. That's not losing, it's just kind of finding a different flavor of winning. And it sucks when we compare ourselves against like the top speed runs or the best rendition of whatever it could be, and you know, decide, oh, I'm not enjoying this whatsoever, I'm not having a good time. But there's so many things, so many games where it did that, especially now that it's creeping up, especially like you could look at with single player games, right? You get discouraged for playing something wrong based on a video somebody made doing it maybe a little bit better or a little bit faster. But if you didn't have that there, if you just looked at your experience in a vacuum, if you were enjoying it, this outside influence is probably not a worthwhile thing to entertain. That's definitely how I look at Monster Hunter. Like, I've played a lot of it, and I could be as much of a hipster about having played it before a lot of other people as I want to be. But it doesn't really mean I get to be any sort of grand arbiter. I mean, I kind of just enjoy having my own version of fun with the game. So, you know, does that mean I'm not using the really aggressive, heavy bowgun strategies that let you know, get off like 170 hits every few seconds and absolutely keep things in paralysis and kind of have no fun with it? Like, no, it's not what I do, but I feel like actually having a battle, letting yourself take a few hits every now and then, it's a more authentic Monster Hunter experience. And it could be the case for a lot of things. Like, some of the people that I grew up with, they really only play multiplayer games. And they kind of need that level of, I'm doing better than other people to enjoy themselves. And if that's, you know, if you like competing, that's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. But I think if you need to do that, and you can't independently enjoy your own version of fun, or set your own parameters of success and you're satisfied by them, then it's a pretty cumbersome way to have to live. Because you're always going to need to check on your sheets, so to speak. And there isn't always an opportunity to have that. Especially, like, depending on what you want to do personally. You know, I'm in a world where you really have to be self-directed. Otherwise, nothing gets done. And that's true for my hobbies and in my professional life. Like, as an author, nobody's gonna make you write a book. Maybe if you have an agent and, you know, thousands of fans, you might get some aggressive and somewhat scary fan mail, be like, do the thing, or I'm gonna send you a foot. And, you know, that's possible. Or an agent will get mad at you for not making the money. But unless you have those things going for you, you really have no obligation to do the art. You are the only one imposing that requirement. And professionally, it's very much the same thing. I more or less spent a long time doing things related to what I do now to be like, hey, if we did this, stuff would suck less. And very much a self-directed effort, because nobody really wants to hear that things suck, even if you're trying to improve them. When you could say, you know, a bunch of different things about this is what is going to be awesome, this is what's working really well, this is how it's going to get better, this is where it's going to go. And then you could say one little negative thing in an ocean of positive remarks. And people's egos tend to focus on that one little negative thing. And it's tough when you want to repair stuff, and people are in a perspective of repair means I personally as an individual did something wrong and have failed and am now being punished or ridiculed. And I get it too, because it can be tough, especially if, like, you want things a certain way, or you feel like they aren't going wrong. It can be a conflict. Oh well. And this great baggy doesn't care anything for my philosophy, and is just wagging his tail around, basically now finishing up, which is a convenience. We'll grab this shiny. They drop when monsters take big hits, when parts break, stuff like that. Always worth picking up if you see them. Okay, do a sharpen. Let's see here, great baggy. You limped away, which makes me think we're only a few hits away from victory. But we'll see. Awesome. Oh, yep. Downside of not having green sharpness. Definitely, I would want to go grab that Pelagocyte ore before I do any other hunts. Because yellow at any other point in the game is like, things are going wrong. And this being as sharp as my weapon currently gets, feels pretty dilapidated. I probably don't even need to use any of the stuff that I have. I can just go fight it. If I waited a moment, we might have went to sleep, but whatever. Last hit is probably any moment here. Come on, mister. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I'm very much like, is it this one? No? Is it this one? It's fine if that, oh, I fell asleep. That's okay. Although I might just take a regular small hit there and be fine. Yep. Okay. Oh. Well, darn. May actually need to heal a little bit this moment. Oh, man. Well, the benefit of old Monster Hunter is that I can just run over here. I can slam down a potion. And then we can go back. And the power of loading screens keep us safe. All that sleeping power is getting to me in real life. There we go. Most excellent. I don't know if we'll use the materials for this monster. The equipment actually looks pretty cool. Kind of has like a dark gunmetal gray and dark navy blue armor color scheme to it, which looks nice. But with the bear off, we may well be fine until something a little bit stronger and build off of that. Who knows? Try and get some more Isium here really quick. Can we make it to the second mining point? Nope. That's kind of what I figured. That's fine. All right. Send that all to the box. Got something to appraise. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is the Crag thing. So that's like a multiple explosions ability that you can use with heavy bow guns. I won't touch it. Oh, hey, this everyone has something to say, but come here, kid. Just a little closer so I can have a look at you. Yep, you're ready. So here's the word. Legiacrus has been sighted again in Moga's waters. You know what that means. Yep, but don't worry. I can tell you right now, you're up to the task. Heck, I bet you're tougher than he is. Now, listen up, kid. The Legiacrus has got special organs on its back that he uses to conduct electricity. You gotta watch out for those. The more juice the beast generates, the more brilliantly they shine. Actually, it's a lovely sight. I hear the glow gets so bright that sailors have mistaken it for lightning. Problem is, most of those sailors are 100% certified dead now because they didn't clear the heck out of there. See, once the organs are charged, the Legiacrus releases all of the electricity at once in a vicious, deadly attack. The prettier the sight, the more you've got to beware. Kind of like my first girlfriend, come to think of it. Oh, what a statement. Elder of the village. Anyway, just tread carefully around that glow. Watch out. There, I yelled it. Now you won't forget. If there was just some way to keep it from charging up the juice, you might stand a fighting chance. Oh, did I say fighting chance? I meant better chance. You'll be fine. The guild has agreed to make this quest official, so drop by the quest counter just as soon as you're ready. Which will obviously be a next time thing, so thanks for checking out some Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. We'll return to Legiacrus hunting, or whatever it is we do, around the next time. Thanks for watching, and see you then. Bye.